welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nena. In today's video, we're continuing from where we stopped in the last one. We already drafted the pattern and cut it out for the Victorian corset, and today we're going to be placing on the material and cutting and then sewing together. So let's get into the video. So here I have my material folded into two because each piece needs two pieces to be cut out. So I'm just going to place each of the pieces on the material. This first part I'll be placing on the side that has a fold because it needs to be cut on fold, and I will just go ahead to place the other pieces. And while placing, I'm also giving a space to be able to add my allowance to it. In this video I used allowance of 1 inch, which I think is a bit much, but I did this because I was planning to make my casing for the boning with that allowance, but I still think 1 inch is a bit much. So for yours, you can go ahead and use 0.75 inch as your allowance. So I just placed the pieces on the material, marked the allowance and drew it out so that I have accurate measurements. So here I've gone ahead to do the markings and you can see what it's supposed to look like. I've not done the last part because of the size of my table, but I went ahead to do that off camera. And next up I would be going on to cut my padding. So while cutting these pieces, make sure to place each pattern piece on top of any one you cut so that you don't get confused. So this is the pieces I've cut out, so I'm going to go ahead to place that on my padding on fold so that I can cut that out as well. So for this video I'm using the soft padding. It's not as thick as the other types of padding, so I just place the pieces on it. I'm not bothered to give space because I've already done that, and yeah, I have cut it out. I also pinned the pattern pieces on top so that I do not get confused when it gets to sewing. And next up we're going to place it on the lining and also cut out the lining pieces. So after cutting out the lining, I go ahead to iron my padding to the material and then pin it. So I ironed the sticky side to the wrong side of the material and then I pinned it accordingly. You can follow the pattern we cut to know how to pin it. And I also went ahead to pin the lining material and then I sewed. So in sewing, you would sew this inner part together, bringing out that extra allowance you added for the casing of the boning. And yeah, this is also the back piece. I did the same process there. I'm so sorry I didn't show you the sewing process. The lighting there was not very good, but yes, I sewed the back pieces together after ironing my padding to it, and then I also attached the lining pieces together because I would be turning that over. So next up, I attach my front piece to the two back pieces at the side so that we have just one long piece that would go around. And I've also sewn down my casing. So in this allowance given here, I just took 0.75 inches and sewed it down to serve as the casing for my boning. I sewed it on both sides. I'll be showing it clearer in another clip, but I'm just going to go ahead to cut off all the excess threads and the excess materials after sewing down my casings. So now I'm going to go ahead and pin my lining piece to the main material. I'll be pinning the right side of the lining to the right side of the cloth. After pinning that round, I'll just sew it so that I can go ahead and attach and insert my bonings inside the casing. So I have to sew this top part of the lining so that the bonings do not escape when I insert it in. So yeah, after sewing that, the next clip would show me inserting my boning. But before I go ahead to sew that, because this is the only time I would have to insert this boning before I turn it over, I would be going ahead to insert my boning to the cases I already made earlier. As you can see, I've already inserted some of them. So yeah, I would go ahead to insert. I used 2 boning on each joining, so each side has a boning. So just watch as I insert the boning. Before I insert this, I take a scissors and cut the tip of the boning so it's not so sharp on the edge. And after pushing it in, when it gets to the extreme, I drag it out a bit and trim it off so that there's a little bit of space at the bottom for me to join my lining. So now I'm going to go ahead and notch the neckline of this top just so that it can relax properly when I iron it. So I'm done ironing now, and I'm doing the bottom stitch. So you can see this is how the inside looks. The reason for turning the lining over is just to have the insides neat like this. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I would have turned the sides over, but I discovered it too late, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a neat folding of those sides so that it looks neat. But this is what we have so far. I have already done the folding, and next up I would take this to where they would insert eyelets in it. When I'm done with that, I would show you what it looks like, but I'm just going to go ahead and mark the spaces for the eyelets. I do not have the eyelets machine, so I'll be taking it to the market to do that. So I'm just going to mark the spaces so that it is easy for them to just put the eyelets in. So I'm taking 1-inch spacing for each eyelet, and I'm going to mark that on both sides. So we've come to the end of this video, and this is what our corset top is looking like. I went ahead to make these detachable sleeves off camera, but if you're interested in knowing how I made it, you can also comment that in the comment section and I would show you. But this is what we didn't place the back opening at the center, but this is what we have. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any contributions, feel free to drop in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.